or any level of comfort that you have, and just start your
Start with withholding. Start to think about what can somebody withhold from you before they ever do it, and you'll be a lot better off.
Welcome to the Jerry Gray's channel. This is a channel that talks about narcissists, psychopaths, everything, and it kind of gets cringy around here sometimes, which is actually kind of good because nobody ever talks about some of the things that we talk about here. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the topic. This is about power. You know, people play power games, especially narcissists, psychopaths, and people that are toxic. But narcissists in particular, they don't really go for power in the same way that everybody else does, like where they're trying to really take over the world, you know, put in a lot of work and effort, and they go for big things. They want to just have power over the people in their lives and kind of just take them down and suck value from them without them being able to get away from them, basically. And that's their whole goal. You know, they'll let everything else in their life kind of fall to crap. Not necessarily where they're living in a cardboard box, but they're not really achieving anything. But as long as they can have their supply around them. So everything that they do is about power. Most people can understand that on a logical level, but on a visceral, deep level, you don't understand what it's like to just, your whole life is about just basically gaining power. At least I don't understand that, but I understand it logically. And it's weird. Like the other day, I was watching a hearing with John Jones, who was trying to keep his license to fight. And if you don't know, John Jones is a fighter in the MMA. He's like a really good fighter. He was a champion, but he popped for steroids allegedly. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's getting punished for it by the people who gave him his license. And so instead of just going in there and just straight telling them what it is they're going to do, they kind of have to do all these formalities, you know. uh, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. All in favor say aye. Joe, aye. Mary, aye. Susie, aye. You know, like all these weird formalities that don't really mean anything. It's just they have to savor the fact that they're in control over somebody's life. You know, we have to take our time. Everybody needs to dress up, you know, and the thing is that decisions like that, how long does it really take to make a decision? Like for most people, it only takes a few seconds to make. We make decisions in seconds. And now all of a sudden you have to have an hour long hearing just to decide something that you probably already know what you're going to do. Like it's not like you just now are thinking about it. You went in, you've been probably thinking about this for months. It's been months. You know what you're going to do. Get in there, make a decision, and leave. But it's like, and the thing could be like 5 minutes, but they have to stretch it out. They have to savor it. You know, it's power. That's what it's like. And there's a whole bunch of people, like there was this Asian lady, she's talking about John Jones like he's a child. Like, I don't know if we should revoke his license, because if we revoke it, we get a chance to decide in a year whether we're going to allow him to have a license. And it's a year and we can decide from there. But if we suspend him, then, you know, it has to be like maybe a year and a half or 2 years. But then once he comes back with his suspension, he has his license. So I don't know how we should do this. And it's like, okay, well, maybe you guys should have discussed this before we got out in front of the hearing. But no, she wants to hear herself talk. You know what I'm saying? That's power. That's people trying to milk and just feel powerful. I want to hear myself talk. I want people to hear me talk, you know? And I don't understand that, but it's out there. And oh, you know, we have to really think about this, because if we give him his license now, you know, he might not learn his lesson. You know, he might do the same mistake. So we got to make sure that we really get this right. I want to make sure we really get this right, because John Jones is clearly a 30-year-old kid. You know, it's all this. We got to patronize. We got to be condescending. We can't just give our decision. It's got to be drawn out. Think of it in those terms. You know, If they actually just did what they're supposed to do, there's no power in that. In a way, there is power in that, but no individual power. You know, if they just listen to you when you talk, you know what I'm saying? If you guys are in a relationship, supposed to be in a relationship, if they just listen to you and you listen to them, nobody has any power there. It's when they don't listen to you that the power begins to shift. You know, I can create a deficit in this person, and they're gonna come back to me. You know, it's when they treat you wrong. Like, power to them isn't necessarily doing the right thing or having leverage. We think of power in terms of leverage, like you can get a lot done. It's when you can get a lot done in your favor. Is when you can break the rules. If you always did the right thing, if you always follow the rules, then you're not really controlling anything in their eyes. It's like there's something else controlling it. It's logic controlling it. It's God controlling it. But to gain, like to get personal gain, you know, that's when I can do something that goes against everybody. Everybody's mad. You know, it hurts other people, and I can gain from it. When I can make that decision, that's when I have power. And they're always trying to create that in you. They're always trying to get you to chase. They're always trying to exclude you. You know, they use things that are like powerful, like sales technique. You know, it works on different levels, you know, in different areas to create something in you to have you chase them, to have you underneath their thumb, you know. And it's that simple. Anytime you are dealing with them and you're trying to figure out what they're going to do next, you can kind of think about like what's going to give them power. And think about it like, and don't overestimate yourself. Like, loneliness is a powerful thing. If they leave you alone for a long time, you know, it might force you to want to go and talk to them, you know, or want to find them, or, you know, don't lie to yourself. You find yourself doing that, you know, just recognize it for what it is. You know, you're not above the process. You're not above humanity, and there's triggers, there's weaknesses that humans have, and there's people that are going to exploit those. You know, before you begin speaking to someone, before you begin interacting with someone in any kind of way, you should always first think about power. Can they withhold something from me? Can they be exclusive? Can they physically dominate me? You know, what can be their power move here? Always think of that. And people think of physical power, you know, can they, you know, overpower me? Like, that's one of the first things that people think about when they meet somebody new, or even somebody that they know. Like, if they're about to go in a place alone with them, you know, you kind of think about that. But the non-physical stuff, people don't really understand. Like, a lot of people don't understand power. If you are chasing somebody in any kind of way, if you're trying to be accepted, you're trying to be friends, if you're trying to get a promotion, if you're trying to work somewhere very long, or if you're in need of love, you got to recognize those things inside of yourself first. You know, that's leverage. That's, you know, the abilities for somebody to exercise power over you. And if you have that and you know that going into it, you should expect that the narcissist is going to find that. So it's best to be like, and you're never going to completely be able to not have any weaknesses, not have any wants or anything like that. The most common display of power is withholding, because it's one of those things where you can't really blame the person, you can't really prove what's going on, but they withhold. So even going into a relationship, or if you were to talk to somebody, you get used to talking to someone every day at work or at home, or you should go into it knowing and thinking, when are they going to decide to withhold this from me? Like, I enjoy this conversation, I really do, but when are they going to decide that they're going to withhold talking to me? You know, when is that going to happen? When is that play going to happen? Because at some point is going to happen, you know, and so you're always watching for any level of dependency or any level of comfort that you have, and just your start with withholding. Start to think about what can somebody withhold from you before they ever do it, and you'll be a lot better off.